Today I am outside of my library. I have come to work on some editing for some upcoming videos for you guys, and I am going to be reading Those Empty Eyes. If you are interested in thrillers, or maybe you've read Charlie Donnelly in the past and found his writing intriguing, we are going to read it. We're going to let you know what we think, and we're going to let you know if this is worthwhile. Stay tuned.
Hey guys, I am in front of a bookstore. I want to take you in with me as I look for the newest book that we're going to do for a vlog. Me and Amanda had done a TBR video, and luckily enough, there was a book that both of us had talked about reading. So we chose that for our vlog. And now I thought it would be fun to take you into Second and Charles. They are a really cool bookstore with a lot of cool stuff in there, and I think it'll be fun for you guys to see. There's not many in the US. So come along with me as we look for the Charlie Donnelly thriller, Our Empty Eyes. The outside looks like, I love this strip mall because they also have a Trader Joe's and of course a TJ Maxx, which, you know, TJ Maxx is one of my weak spots. So let's go inside. Is now and new, but I am not seeing the book I want. This is a good book. And so is that one. This is a great book. Not the one I need. Holy J.D. Robb. They have a lot of J.D. Robb. Oh my god, I love the Alice in Wonderland things. Such cutie notebooks. I already have that one. And I already have that stationery set. Look at these wallets. More Alice in Wonderland. Oh, so many cute things. Library Cat paperweight. Alice in Wonderland. Mad Hatter paperweight. That's true. Look at this. Quote by Jane Austen. This is adorable. It's a purse. I love classics, but Edgar Allan Poe, yes please. And yes, they have socks. There is bargain. Lots and lots of bargain. I might have to put this on $1. And hey guys, so they didn't have it as you had seen. They had a couple other books that I picked up. I forgot how much they have at that store, and also pleasantly surprised, I forgot how cheap they are. So I picked up another one of Charlie Donnelly's books, The Girl Who Was Taken. It sounded really interesting, and though it wasn't the book that I needed, I still ended up picking it up because it was really cheap. And then of course I found the dollar book Prep, which how can you say no to a dollar book? Anywho, I know Barnes & Noble will have the book. I am going to stop by there and pick it up, and then I will start reading it, and hopefully I'm starting, and I read the quote. I love when books have quotes at the very beginning, but I read the quote, and I actually love this quote. Follow the evidence wherever it leads and question everything. All the places, I hope it means that you'll come home to me once you travel the world, all the spaces inside your heart. Things before I go further. First, spoilers. if I might mention something that someone may not want to know about for the book before they read it. So here's your warning. And secondly, addressing the Grogu behind me, pay no mind to Grogu.
Hey guys, so I'm sitting outside, so I thought I'd take a few minutes to come outside and sort of share my thought on Those Empty Eyes. Those Empty Eyes by Charlie Donnelly.
All right, I am done with Those Empty Eyes by Charlie Donnelly. I finished pretty quickly, more quickly than I typically read a book. I wanted to stop and actually address, I feel like so many people read so much faster than I do. You see a lot of YouTubers and book talkers talking about how they read like 20 to 30 books a month, but on a good month, I feel I get 5 or 6 books read. I feel like I never have enough time to read. I wish I could do it full time. I did finish this a little less than a week, which is really good for me. I read about 200 pages just this past weekend. So I've definitely been riveted. It's different than I thought it would be. I thought it would just be about the one girl, Alex, who is known as Those Empty Eyes. I thought it would be her in the future getting all the effects that she needs to find out what happened to her family, but there's been a lot of other storylines.
I don't even know where to start with this book. There are so many characters and storylines,
and it's hard to keep track of them all,
but it's not confusing at all or hard to follow.
I wasn't expecting, but I like so far how it's keeping you guessing, because I'm sure all of this is going to tie in together.
They all intersect, intertwine, they all cross each other's paths, and they all are introduced at different times. So don't be intimidated. I've seen some critiques about, there are too many characters and stuff, but I'm telling you, this book is so good.
Anyway, so for this book, I was pleasantly surprised. I feel like I'm going to keep reading Charlie Donnelly. I feel like he writes really good. I feel like the way he writes the plot, he just put everything together.
I enjoyed the writing. I can't wait to read more from Charlie Donnelly. I'm looking for some more of his books. The main character is Alexandria. She's 17 years old when her family is murdered in the middle of the night, and the murderer gets to her room and she's able to hide and escape, and the neighbor calls 911. Of course, the cops show up and the news cameras show up. That shows up finds her in the bedroom where her parents were murdered, holding a gun, which is the murder weapon. So they kind of jump to a conclusion that she's the murderer. So this cop arrests her and takes her into the station, and when she's walking her out of her home, the news outlets label her as Empty Eyes because they just said her eyes are empty. But she's not the murderer. So the main plot of the story is her trying to figure out who murdered her parents and her brother when she was young. And it spans the course of 10 years.
I had originally assumed it was just going to be about Alex and her family's murder, and just from her perspective is what I was expecting, is that after she was accused of it, when she's older, she's, either she was going to be some vigilante trying to hunt down the killers, or we would just see her trying to figure out what happened with their murder. And though there is a part of that, of her being older and going after her family's murderers, there's also other storylines that got introduced, and I felt like it was all of a sudden we had these other storylines and I didn't know what was going on. So it kept me kind of riveted because I was like, what's happening? And there were a lot of other things that kind of came together in order to make this book. And I very much enjoyed how the plot came together like that. I felt very well paced, and I was just flipping pages trying to figure out what was happening. There were a couple twists, but the twists I feel were kind of, I feel like I knew what they were going to be, but I still like how it came about. So I would say this is a very solid 4 stars for me. I would recommend this book. I would recommend this author. I feel like I'm going to be reading more, and that's it.
I rated this book very highly. I thought it was unique. I thought it was very well written. I loved the way that there were a lot of characters, but they all intertwined, they all came together, they all told one story, and there are so many topics in this book to sort of think about and delve into. If you've read any more of his books, please let me know. Put that in the comment below what book you read and what you thought of it, because I am definitely looking for recommendations for some of his other works. I'm giving this book 5 stars.